on there. This is Chicago with Secret Service Survival.
Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Friends here. Y'all, this is
because you have to understand that self-defense is a serious business. We do still carry courses, advanced courses. Make a difference.
One of the tactics that would increase or decrease
in the two-way community.
All right, y'all introduce yourself.
Let's just go kick. Give him 100%.
Johnny A. You already know what it is. I saw that, and I've done my share. I'm about to put yours up here too. Look at that one. My comment is,
I want
hey, you'll be back. Hey.
But no, so Marquise Moreno, PC.
What's going on, you all? What's going on? If you are watching, welcome again to another episode of Trigger with Instructor Mike and friends. I am your host, Instructor Mike, along with KD, John, Marquise. Guys, you do your introductions if you so choose, or we could dive right into it. I think people follow us already know who we are. You'll see our information come across the ticker. And I think it's going to be a rather robust discussion. Don't forget, if you're watching by YouTube, go ahead and hit the like, subscribe button, hit the subscribe button for notifications. We can drop the link a little bit later on if you want to come on up and have the discussion, but you got to be cammed up, got to be mic'd up, so that way you're able to participate, and we love it. If you like the show already, go on ahead and throw some likes, throw some support, because all of us are instructors. Our time is definitely valuable, as is yours. So we want to have a robust discussion about this, because all of you all who are watching this, we are all defenders, you know, and our safety matters. Your ability to be able to defend yourself and your homes and things like that, that matters. So this is a robust discussion. I yield to you guys. What's going on? Introduce yourselves if you see fit.
John with Guardian Concepts. We are in Bourbonnais, Illinois, so just a little bit south of Chicago. We are on Facebook. All you got to do is search Guardian Concepts. We teach the Illinois Basic Concealed Carry class. We also do some advanced trainings. We do different medical courses, hand-to-hand combatives courses we host from one of our affiliates, Integrated Defense Strategies, Todd Fossey. Next concealed carry class for us is June 25th and 26th. That is our next concealed carry class. If you're looking for more information, obviously go to Facebook, go to our website.
Outstanding.
Right. Good evening, everybody. Marquise Miranda with P6 Firearms Training and Education. We do the concealed carry courses, advanced courses. We actually have a covert carry course coming up July 16th in the ISRA range in Kankakee, technically Bondfield area. 300 rounds, all EDC, aka everyday carry. Must come concealed, must come ready to get into it, because you know we out here and everyone always wants to come out to the range, but now you get the opportunity to actually draw from concealment and actually learn some skills that might help you from drawing from concealment as well as marksmanship.
Make sure you guys, if you're watching, make sure that you're hitting the like button, subscribe button, you know, get the likes up, please. This type of stuff, this is great information, and it helps get the algorithm out to YouTube and Facebook, as well as those of you all on TikTok who are still watching this. You're more than welcome to continue in, and I'll glance between TikTok and stuff like that, so we can have a very robust conversation. But let's go. Let's keep it going. KD, what's going on, man?
What's going on with you, gentlemen? How are you guys doing?
All right.
I'm just getting ready to get into some engraving, but KD from Kingdom Devoted Training also teamed up with family and arms training. Follow us on YouTube, Facebook for conceal and carry information.
Outstanding. Outstanding. All right, here we go. So today, and yes, Christy, yes, I did see. Look, in fact, not only did I see her testimony, we're going to get a chance to watch her testimony because her testimony in front of the U.S. House of Representative Committee on, I believe it was reform. I forgot the full name of the committee, excuse me. But yes, she did testify, and her testimony was so powerful. Her testimony was so powerful. But if you are not paying attention to what's going on in politics and you are a gun owner, I don't want to say sad on you because there could have been a reason. You could have been at work. But these type of conversations are extremely important because especially if you're in, I mean, all across the United States, but especially if you're in Chicago or if you're in Illinois, those of you all who don't know, Illinois is Custer's last stand as it relates to concealed carry or any kind of firearms, anything in the United States. We were the last state in the union in 2013 to even get concealed carry, to be able to carry a firearm. And you know, if it came down to any constitutional carry, we would be the last state in the union to be able to get any of those things as well. And so today's hearing was tough. It really was tough. And we're going to look at snippets from that hearing because it was directly an assault on the Second Amendment and what it means to those of us who carry firearms for our own personal protection and the protection of our family. And if you guys are not members of any organization that supports the lobbying efforts that is needed, see, I'm gonna stand on this and I'll yield to you guys. People who were there was some post that I made some time ago where there's an organization, and I'm going to say it because it's out there, the National African American Gun Association, otherwise known as NAGA, right? I have no problem with the organization. It's amazing. It's great. But then there were some members of the organization that was saying certain things about the NRA. And I'm like, yes, the NRA has their issues, but don't talk shit about the NRA because if it wasn't for the NRA and their legislative muscle, we would not have even come close to having concealed carry here in Illinois. And when you look at what the fuck just happened today on the House, I don't see any NAGA representation there. Now, I know they got to get their legislative muscle up, but this is the shit that I'm talking about. That's where the shit has to happen. That legislative muscle, not the opinion. The opinions that we have here are cool, but at the House and at the Senate, at the national level, and even at the local level, those are the conversations that need to happen because if we don't have that legislative muscle in there to hold those politicians accountable and stop their efforts from taking away our ability to use one of the chief tools that could assist us in stopping deadly threats quickly, they need to take notes. They need to take notes. And that's my main thing. I have nothing against the organization, but I knew there was going to come a time where I was going to be able to use something like this to say, hey, guys, take notes. Because I don't see you guys there. You got to get your muscle up because this is the shit where it counts because gun laws are fucking racist. I yield.
Well, all I was going to say is the NRA and the thought and the context you just brought it up, take it a step further. They haven't just been the ones lobbying for Illinois to have concealed carry. They were the ones who lobbied for African Americans to have firearms in the first place. because they were technically one of the oldest civil rights organizations that does exist, whether people like to believe it or not. Because it was up to them who actually put rifles in the hands of African Americans and things like that to defend themselves against the KKK. But, you know, who cares about history lessons, right? But
True.
anyway, I
Oh,
digress.
no, history gets deleted. If it's
That's what I said. Who cares about history? History doesn't matter anymore. You know, no one cares about history unless it builds up their case.
Mhm.
Like, I don't know, school shootings build up cases for gun legislation. The problem is, and this is just how I feel, I'm kind of numb now because you got a left wing and a right wing.
All
You're
on the
both
same
on the
hamburger.
same bird. And neither one of those wings listens to the people.
Hey, I
So
told
does
y'all
that-
before.
So it's about your agenda. Your agenda is there. The money is there. Always follow the money. And
told you.
honestly, right now, this
Hey,
is going to go up to the highest bidder.
I'll throw out a quick conspiracy for you, and y'all can decide what you want to think on it. But it was real convenient that the Uvalde tragedy had to happen 4 hours away from the NRA convention, about 4 days before it started. I'll leave it at that. I don't want to get us, banned off of anything. But
Yeah, we got to be careful in certain. And I'm reading statements from TikTok too, and I'll be reading you all's comments too in this conversation because I definitely want you all to continue to be a part of the conversation. Fury Fire Cutie 6109 says, "And all history and books and libraries, universities, and all misinformation."
and also Charlie Boy, Illinois
Yeah.
State Rifle Association is another organization local in Illinois that does fight for obviously things here in Illinois. You
Yeah.
mentioned obviously you don't know anything outside of the NRA. So if you're looking to support another organization that's pretty much in your backyard, if you're in the Chicagoland area, ISRA, Illinois State Rifle Association.
Right. And we're talking about, and I yield to Katie because I know he's getting ready to say something. Bill O'Banion Martin, what's going on, sir? Always a supporter. I appreciate that. Mike, are you talking about the National African American Gun Association? They have not been around as long as the NRA. Give it time. I think that. So no, it's not that. We're not saying don't.
That's not that. This is different. That's a different organization altogether.
Oh,
NAGR is something totally different. It's NAGR is something different.
okay.
NAGA is NAAGA.
Right. That's
NAGR is something gun rights.
okay.
National something gun rights.
Yeah. But even GOA,
National
NAGA.
Association for Gun Rights.
Okay, NAGR. Yeah. And even though they haven't been around, I was just saying that organization because, like I said, the organization's intentions are extremely laudable, above reproach. But there were a couple of their representatives that were saying something previously, talking about how the NRA does not represent. And today in the House hearing, what I saw was people likely backed by the NRA, but definitely fighting against the attacks that are sure to come. And it's this preface. This is a preface right here that's going to lead to a even deeper conversation about gun control because they're missing certain things. I find it funny that we are trying to attack the tool and
they are always missing certain things when it comes to gun control, though.
Yeah,
let's put it like this: the conversation on deck is gun control.
Yeah,
let's just put it right there. Everything is missing from the conversation because it's about gun control.
right.
It has nothing to do with figuring out how to do better background checks or forcing states to do better reporting for their background checks. No. We don't want to do that. We don't want to go ahead and try to start looking for illegal firearms and fixing that problem. No. Let's not do that. Let's not figure out how to better prepare softer targets. And I'm just going to say softer targets for such events. whether it be a church, whether it be a school, wherever that soft target is.
Correct.
It's never about how to better prepare for people who don't follow laws. It's always about how to mess with law-abiding citizens.
Mm-hmm.
That's why if you look at anything involving gun control, my hands are always in the air because the point was totally missed. If we're ever talking about gun control, you missed the point.
Correct.
And that's why all this stuff, I'm just going to shake my head to it like,
check it, Miss Lynn.
And I'm going to throw up a little bit even more on top of it. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not even about gun control. It's about people control. If you really want to know, you know what I mean? It's about people control. At the end of the day, when we are literally the only country on Earth, okay, that has the amount of guns in the civilian public's hands. And for a long time, NATO wanted to not allow that because NATO cannot have the ability to come in here and do what they want to do, like they can do in other countries. And for those that actually don't know, our sovereignty rights were actually signed over in the World Health Organization by our government, which means that if another medical pandemic is ever declared and NATO decides that they need to step into our country in order to take control and stop the spread of the pandemic, they can do by whatever means necessary to do so.
Now, there are some people who are, you all keep the comments coming and do me a favor, keep the likes going. Keep the likes going. If you haven't already smashed that like button, do us a favor, hit the like button, continue the comments and things like that. You know, continue the comments. Let's keep going. Here we go. Ivan the Great on YouTube said they need to raise the age limit to purchase a gun. Bottom line, your brain isn't fully developed until you're at least 21 to 24 years of age. Go,
hey, John.
Age ain't got nothing to do with it. Age ain't nothing but a number.
John, you get first bite.
Guess what? Then I guess you can't serve your country until 21.
You beat me to it.
Okay? If you're not mentally prepared enough to have a firearm in your possession, then you're not mentally prepared to serve your country. In which case, let's weaken our military some more.
Yeah. I was 17 when I signed up.
I'm sorry to say that's
I was
idiotic.
17 when I signed up too.
That's absolutely idiotic.
Yep.
The fact that you're going to try and weaken our military even more, because again, why should they sign up if they're not going to be allowed to carry a gun because they're only 18?
And then let's talk back.
Or they can carry a gun at 18 while they're in the military, but not in the civilian world.
But see, here's this too. Let's talk facts, right? So I've been shooting since I was 14. I had to sneak away to learn how to shoot by a couple of PMI, primary marksmanship instructors who were Marines, you know, in ROTC and stuff like that. That's when I first started learning how to shoot. But in Chicago, we didn't. And by the way, we had ROTC in high school. You don't see that in Chicago high schools anymore because that's just gone and out the door. But let's talk about different people. See, we cannot have this conversation about guns without talking about the context of geographical, regional, local, and even racial lines where training takes place. Because in certain places, like there was a person there was a representative in the House from Texas, I believe. He made a brilliant speech. I did not write his name down, but he made a brilliant speech, and I'm going to find that snippet. He was talking about how in Texas in the 60s, you know, and in times, don't get me wrong, racial things being what they were, but the truth being what it is, you would have people who would have guns all over the place. They came back from the war, and not only World War II, but Vietnam. There were guns all over the place. You didn't have a lot of mass shootings. You didn't have a lot of different things that you have now. So if it's really guns are the issue, how do you explain back then? How do you also explain the fact that in well-to-do or even middle-class neighborhoods, right, in different towns, regardless of race, we'll argue in white areas and things like that. If a father wants to go take his son hunting and teaching him how to use a firearm or teaching him how to use a rifle, you know that helps in joining and sustaining the military by giving them those skills early. So when they do turn 17, they're able to fully enlist, already having those skills from having been taught that back a long time ago. I mean, does that make sense? Am I off-putting with this?
No. But the thing is this, man. Everything's going to always come down to the people. What has changed and what is wrong with the people? These are nothing more than tools. I don't own any firearm. I own a seed sower, and that's what I have.
The YouTube is instructor Mike.
That's what I got. So call it if we can literally, everything has a new name. You can be named whatever you want to call. You can be them, they, and ours. You can be anything you want to be as a human. But I can't choose the name of a device because the whole thing that's always said is this device was created with the means of doing X, Y, and Z. Okay? It's always the same thing. The gun was created to do this. The gun was created to do that. Okay, humans have to touch the tool to make the tool do what it's doing. But until we start really addressing the people problem we have, the mental problems we have, the medications that we keep trying to put people on, until we address what is wrong with people, I feel like leave tools alone. Because this wasn't this much of an uproar when my man got behind the wheel of a car and went through a parade.
Go ahead, Katie.
Marquis, what was that very first question that you asked?
I don't know. I just started talking.
Oh, okay. Well, if you really want to go back to it, like Mike was just explaining about the instructor, the House of Representative, the guy from Texas, growing up in the South, Grandma had tools at the front and the back door. Those tools were put there, and you were taught that was a piece of furniture that you did not touch until you got to a certain age where you were able to go outside and touch it the right way. And when
I got it right here.
Using it the right way. So the problem that we're having is the fact of we are not holding the people accountable for the reason why it's going on. Everyone want to talk about gun reform and getting rid of this gun and that gun. How about the word accountability? I asked these people before in my class. I said, if I had a dog and my dog jumped matter of fact, John, you got a dog, Gunner. If Gunner jumped the gate and bit the neighbor, what would the police do?
Oh, he'd go to doggy jail.
Oh, you fucking.
Let's hear. Oh, wait. Let's hear the representative, and I don't think he was from.
Looking at your.
Here we go.
Your presented statement, sir. Say you support confiscating guns from individuals determined to be a threat to themselves or others. Determined to be. So by this legislation, my colleagues are putting forth my understanding of the letter of that law, which I 1,000% oppose, as would our founding fathers. The letter of that law says an anonymous tip from a citizen. So if this was law,
red flag laws,
would you confiscate? Would you go to your neighbor's home and confiscate his legally owned weapons, a man that was not under criminal investigation nor under arrest? Would you do it?
The red flag laws would.
That's a yes or no, brother. I got 5 minutes to make an hour and a half statement here.
It's more than a yes or no answer.
We'll move on then. If you cannot say yes, you would confiscate weapons from an American citizen that was subject to this law that my colleagues intend to push through this Congress. Then you said in your statement that you would confiscate those weapons if an American was determined to be, your quote, a threat to themselves or others. According to that law, determined to be is defined by an anonymous tip that an American citizen, a threat to themselves or others. You're a police commissioner, a thin blue line brother, sworn to uphold the Constitution, and you're saying you'd seize those weapons. I see that as a problem. I'm going to bring us back in time to World War II. America's population, 140 million. 15 million American men came home from World War II with deep scars and significant skills. They bore the invisible wounds of war. There was weapons everywhere. We're talking about mental challenge. My father was one of those men who was a Navy pilot in World War II. He came back from the war and built his family. I'm the seventh of his 8 children. I was born in 1961. We had guns everywhere. There was virtually no regulation. Any child in the 50s could buy a weapon from any seller if daddy sent them with the money. We didn't have mass shootings. It wasn't until 1968 in America that serial numbers were even required on weapons sold in this country. You order weapons through the Sears catalog by the mail. In the 70s, I attended a high school, large rural school. Virtually every vehicle in the parking lot was a pickup truck, and almost every one had a rifle or a shotgun on the back glass and a pistol under the seat. We didn't have school shootings. 1979, I began college. One of the jobs I had to work my way through college was as a carpenter. We restored historical buildings. We had to determine in the process of that work what was the original cuts of these homes, residential homes built 75, 85, 100 years ago. You could tell by the saw cut if it was a mechanical cut, an electric cut, or a hand cut. By such observations, we knew exactly how that house was originally built. And to my amazement as a young man, beginning college in Louisiana, working, to my amazement, you know what I discovered, Madam Chair? You know what these houses did not have that were built 100 years ago in cities in America? You know what they did not have, Commissioner? Locks. Locks. Now I ask you all, what happened to that country, man? A country where homes were built in cities with no locks. A country where guns were everywhere and virtually not regulated at all. Where millions of Americans, 14 million Americans came back. It's 11% of the population at the time after World War II with incredible skills of war and weapons of war, as you called them, everywhere. But we didn't have mass shootings. And here we sit today where an entire once proud Democratic Party is presenting unbelievably unconstitutional laws to press upon our nation. And we have a police commissioner that says he would go home to home and confiscate legally owned weapons if he got a tip. Madam Chair, I yield my speech, but I will not yield my opposition to these unconstitutional laws.
Powerful, powerful, powerful. Thoughts, guys, go.
Powerful, but it makes total damn sense. As times changed, the technology changed. Cars didn't have locks. Cars didn't require keys to get into them. Houses barely had locks. Houses didn't need keys to get into them. When crime and people changed their agenda, technology changed. So rather than change the technology and figure out what's wrong with people, let's get rid of stuff.
Well, yeah,
We
we're going to
didn't
go
say-
full demolition man.
Right. We didn't say, okay, you know what? Everyone should have the same car. That way, if everyone has the same car, no one would be tempted to steal one if it was different. No one's ever said, yo, we all need to have 2-bedroom houses so then that way no one's tempted to break into a mansion. No one has ever done that. So why not look at what's wrong? And the problem is people, poverty, and coping mechanisms. It's all mental. I'm sorry. I know we talk a lot about the mental health thing, but I feel in my heart there's something wrong with the minds, hearts, and disciplines of people.
Yes.
Because I don't feel that they're being raised the same to appreciate life like we did back in the day. I don't feel that kids, or hell, it's not even kids no more because you got some screwed up adults. People don't value things like they used to,
Nope.
including human life. I yield.
So I'll jump in, and it's still going to go back to what I said earlier. I mean, again, if you look around and pay attention to everything that's going on, and this is just piggybacking off of what we've already said, is it's going far past the gun control. It's all about the people control at this point. 1,000%, it's all about the people control. If you look at our population in the United States in 1990, we had 249 million people. This year, we are at 332 million people. 83 million more people. So let's think about this in per capita, okay? Just like technology goes up, we get more advanced things. Population goes up because people are sticking their dinglings and ladies are allowing dinglings inside of them.
Hell, okay, keep going.
We're getting more babies out, which means that as more people get of age and we have more guns that become available. So yes, back in the 90s, we had less problems because the population was less. Now we have more problems as the population is going harder or higher. If you think about it, that means that every 10 years, we're going up 30 million in population.
I'm apologize.
Let's even go past one more on that. What's the most common used weapon in the United States? Literally, by FBI statistics, what is the most common used weapon in the United States?
Is it a hammer or a knife?
Personal weapons.
Yeah.
Hands, feet, and knees.
Yeah.
Blunt weapons or bludgeons are number 2. Edged weapons are number 3.
So
1, 2, and 3 are all weapons that are mostly used by FBI statistics.
Mm-hmm.
And firearms are not in the top 3, but we're going to control guns. No, we want to control the people. You take away their long range and or distance weapon and only limit them to personal weapons or close contact weapons. And when people, i.e. whoever's in charge, has the distance weapons, you can then control mass population.
Michael Monroe says, and then Katie, you're next. Michael Monroe says, why are people not talking about the teachers in Uvalde? Is that Uvalde?
Yeah,
You said Uvalde. That's something else. Uvalde arming themselves to defend those children. Mike, we're going to get there. Katie, go.
I'm apologize because I got a new router, new internet, and I don't know what the heck is going on, so I keep on getting knocked off. But what I was asking John before, when it comes down to your animals, if you have an animal and your dog gets out the gate and go and attack someone, you as the dog owner is responsible for that animal.
Yep, dog is going to jail, and I'm going to get in trouble, get a ticket, fine, depending on how many times my dog got out. I'm going to be in trouble as well.
You in trouble as well. So why is it that we have all of these, and I hate to use the word dogs, but we have all these loose pets running around committing crimes and no one is being held responsible for? That right there, I think, is the number one problem. Number 2 problem is the fact that punishment and crimes are not matching up. Back then, back in the day when you guys were talking about older days, whereas the crime rate was real low, I do remember those laws being not even stricter, but enforced a little bit more. True enough, it may have been a little bit more for different communities, but they was enforced a little bit more, and you knew that if you committed a crime and got caught, you was going to get charged.
Absolutely,
and
there
you
was less people.
Yeah,
83 million less people.
Yeah, but those 83 million less people knew that when you get caught, you're going to jail and you're going to sit there, and it's not daddy day count. So as long as we have these people sitting behind a desk in these nice 3-piece Italian suits, making decisions that doesn't make any sense at all, and they're not enforcing the laws that are on the books, implementing a new law to the books is doing nothing but making it shelf heavy that's holding the book.
But
Because
my thing is, what do people have to fear? What do criminals have to fear now? Let's
they
be
don't have
real.
nothing to fear. They don't have nothing to fear.
So here's my thing, and this is what I would love to know. When was death penalties removed? And what was the increase of crime after that?
That's a very good
So that's
question.
the first thing I want to know.
Well, that's going to be by state.
Let's go by state. Now the second thing.
There's still some states that have death penalty.
Mm-hmm. Texas.
I would love to know what their crime is like too.
Yeah.
Because if there's nothing to fear, why can't I commit a crime? There's nothing to fear. My thing is, and my second thing, if guns are a problem and we need to get rid of guns, why aren't men castrated due to rape?
True. But here's this too.
You blame the tool, correct?
Yeah, we're going to blame the tool. But I think that one of the problems that is not being addressed, and of course, it would have to, it's like the politicians want us to decide, and I heard this and I fucking hated this statement when they were using it. They wanted law-abiding gun owners to decide which is more important, the AR-15 or your children. I'm like, are you fucking serious? So let me go on ahead and put it to you in a way that really makes sense. Which one is more important? The votes that keep you in office or the reforms that need to happen, not only in the school systems that need the reforms, but decentivizing the breaking up of families, decentivizing going out here and having children literally be a stain. And what do I mean by that? I mean, children, how much money do you get on your tax returns and tax credits for having how many children and being a single parent and not and doing everything, being on welfare? What about all of those things? I'm sorry, that just grinds my fucking gears. Because before we even start to address the gun, let's address all the socio-economic ills. Let's address all the situations that cause people to create families because they want a family, because families matter, because they were treated like shit by their mom, treated like shit by their dad, treated like shit by the kids at school who may come from better financially stable and better familially, it's not a word, but better families, things like that, making fun of children. Let's address the bullying. Let's address the teachers who see the bullying and not doing shit about that makes the active shooter not care about death, not care about jail, not care about in-school suspension, not care about all of those things. See, we're talking about using a gun to stop an active shooter. Those motherfuckers don't give a shit about being killed because they're dead inside already. Well, let's go on ahead and put them in jail and give them life in prison without the possibility of parole. What if they fucking live in a prison where their mom is their warden, their dad is their warden? What about those issues? We're not saying shit about that, because if we start to address that on the government level, now you're going to fuck with parents and now you're going to fuck with votes. So now I'm going to turn it to the politicians, those who could be watching, if I or us, if we are even so fucking important. But which is more important to you? Votes that's going to keep you in office, or actually making reforms that could reform the human before they find the need to even get to the fucking tool in the first place?
You already know the answer to that.
The answer is neither. It's all about the money.
Well, we know
John,
that.
Hey, John, 2011 is when the death penalty was abolished in Illinois.
Yeah, in Illinois. That's why I said that just goes by state.
2011, we had a population of 12,869,257 people. According to this, 2011, the total crime of offenses was 395,484. homicide 779, forcible rapes 4,000, robbery 20,000, aggravated robbery 29,000. So according to these numbers, and you look at the numbers that we have now, yeah, they have went up tremendously after the fact of the death penalty has been taken off the table. We had a conversation about this a couple of weeks ago about TAMS. TAMS
Correctional center, yeah.
correctional
I remember
center being
that.
closed down.
Yeah.
It's the same concept. It's the same concept. Most criminals now don't fear going to jail. They don't fear it because they're in there. They got the VCRs. They got TV. Right now they got tablets. They have tablets. They have emails. They can talk to people. You know, it's the luxury of being in prison now. They have health care. They have everything that we pay for, we work hard for. They got it for free in there. So,
absolutely. And take it one step further to what Mike said. Now you take a kid who's got absolutely nothing at home, nothing. And then they hear and know about the fact that I can go to jail, I get a tablet, I get 3 hot meals. You know what I mean? I got a decent, semi-decent bed to sleep in. I don't have to worry about it. I get TV time, I get yard time. I get all the luxuries that I don't get at home because mom or dad ain't letting me out the house. I'm made fun of at school because I don't have the new kicks. I don't have the tablet. I don't have the AirPods. So I'm getting clowned at school because I'm poor. And even though we may not be poor, but mom and dad ain't buying a shit. And granted, I get it's all materialistic things. And there are far better things that we can teach our children. But that's part of the problem. There are other people who do concentrate on all the materialistic things in lieu of their bad parenting. Right. So because I'm a crappy parent, I'm going to buy you a pair of AirPods.
Yeah, and that's not doing good because you're not teaching them anything.
Exactly. You're teaching them absolutely nothing. You're just trying to compensate for your lack of the ability to teach them anything. Because you cannot bring anything to the table, just like Mike said in the past. You're out there pushing out babies, men and women, okay, that weren't emotionally, mentally, psychologically, financially, spiritually prepared to do so. Because you had nothing to offer that child.
Right.
You wanted the glamour of saying, I'm mama, or I'm dada, or I'm papa, you know what I mean? I'm daddy. You wanted all that glamour and no understanding as to what the responsibility is.
Ooh, do you think we are headed towards martial law or a civil war?
That's been brewing for a long time.
And let me ask you this though. So let's just say by some stroke of the pen that they actually, and I strongly believe this is not going to happen, but let's just say by some stroke of the pen, they actually get a law signed into law. I might have said that wrong. Where all the guns are banned. What do you think is going to happen? No, wait. We probably should not answer that question on live.
Say that again. What was the question?
No. We're going to end it. We're going to end that and go someplace else. Because what is understood need not be said.
No, it doesn't need to be explained.
Right. Yeah, that too. Need not be explained or said. Moving on, issue number 1. You all remember what the McLaughlin group? Issue number 1. All right, that's an old thing. I'm sorry. So let's play this. Lucretia Hughes had some powerful words to say in the congressional hearing, and I didn't even know her son was a victim of gun violence. I didn't even know that, but she had very powerful words to say. Let's take a listen.
My name is Lucretia Hughes Klukin. I have 4 children and 9 grandchildren. On the night of April the 2nd, 2016, my family got a phone call that would change our lives forever. My ex-husband answered the phone and let out a blood-curdling scream, a scream of pain from the depths of his soul. He screamed, he cried, he's gone, he is gone. Our 19-year-old son, Emmanuel, went to a party early that night. After we got the call, we was frantic. We called his phone, no one answered. We called even the police. I went to Facebook and I had to ask, is my son dead? I found out that he was shot point blank in the head and killed while playing dominoes. No one spoke up for weeks, and the killer was on the run. No one was going to snitch, but that is the street life. Words can't describe how hard it is to bury a child. I ache for anyone and all who have done the same. My son's death was a result of a criminal with an evil heart and a justice system failing to hold him accountable for the laws he had already broken. You see, a convicted felon killed my son with an illegally obtained gun. Our gun control lobbyists and politicians claim that their policies will save lives and reduce violence. Well, those policies did not save my son. The laws being discussed are already implemented in cities across this country. We have decades of evidence proving they do not work. St. Louis, New York, Chicago, Washington, Atlanta are gun control utopias, and they are plagued with the most violence. 10 more laws, 20 more laws, 1,000 more won't make what has already illegal more wrong or stop criminals from committing these crimes. And y'all are delusional if you think it's gonna keep us safe. I am a walking testimony of how the criminal justice system and the gun control laws, which is steeped in racism, by the way, have failed the Black community. By the age of 25, I had already went to 18 young Black men funerals at the age of 25. I have one Black man in jail, one Black man in the grave, and my young grandson gonna be raised without a father. And it's a curse on the Black community and everyone else's. Something has to change. Thoughts and prayers and calls for more gun control isn't enough. How about letting me defend myself from evil? You don't think that I'm capable and trustworthy to handle a firearm? You don't think that the Second Amendment doesn't apply to people that look like me? Who and you who would call for more gun controls are the same ones that are calling to defund the police. Who is supposed to protect us? We must prepare to be our own first responders to protect ourselves and our loved ones. I am a legal, law-abiding citizen, and I don't need the government to save me. I teach people how to use a firearm. I empower others to look at me to understand the Second Amendment is their right. I am a proud member of the DC Project, Women for Gun Rights. We believe that education is the key to safety, not ineffective legislation. We support meaningful solutions that will actually save lives. We support the Safe Student Act, HR 7415, which would immediately make schools safer. In hindsight, of Parkland, we saw failure of the government at every level failing the students. Students saw something and they said something, and the school did not act. Police were called to his residence over 30 times and they did not act. And finally, the police did not go into their school that fateful day and failed to protect those kids. We need to secure our schools, and we got to secure this building, or like y'all do. What's the difference? We call on Congress to ban gun-free zones, fund nonpartisan firearm education programs like Kids Safe Foundation and non-governmental mental health organizations like Hold My Guns. And in closing, I claim that nothing in these bills do anything to make us safer or address the mental health crisis in this country. Despite living with the heartache of losing my son on a daily basis, I believe it is our God-given right to defend ourselves from any act of violence, making it more difficult or even more expensive for me and people that look like me and other law-abiding citizens will not make us safer. It will embolden the criminals. Gun owners are not the enemies, and these gun control policies are not the solution. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thoughts?
Her final thank you right there. The speaker, yes, that was she didn't care to hear anything that lady said.
She brushed it off.
Well, of course, that's their agenda. No, that was broadcast. You said you wish that had broadcast throughout the United States. Yeah, that was in the House. That was definitely broadcast on all platforms. Yeah.
But you know what? Even if you look at the most common example right now, Crook County, okay? Crook County removed the tax on ammo.
Mhm.
And I want to say maybe a week or two later,
Add that shit
put
back.
it back on and said the funds created from buying ammo and guns would be used to fund a gun violence campaign to reduce gun violence.
Isn't that the antithesis of them saying the gun lobby profits off of it? They're profiting off of it too. Keep going.
So you took away the tax, brought back the tax, gave a stupid excuse, and no gun violence has reduced since you started taking the money. And you've made a lot of money off of us. And what I mean by us is law-abiding citizens, because we're the ones going to buy ammo in places we are allowed to go buy it.
Yes.
We're not going to little Pookie's garage and going inside the trunk.
Not at
We're not
all.
going little Ray Ray's trench coat and pulling out rounds. We're going to the places that tax us to fund a anti-gun violence campaign that hasn't stopped, slowed down, reduced, haven't done a damn thing for gun violence in Crook County.
No, that's because it went to the lobbying to more gun laws and to essentially get rid of them. There is no campaign. Has anyone seen billboards?
No.
Only time you gonna hear it right now is because it's election time.
Anyone see social media marketing going on for
No.
Chicago?
Oh yeah, I seen a lot of social media marketing going on. Nothing about anti. It was more about
That's what I mean.
Sandy
Anyone
Hook
see any
promise.
social media marketing about, you know what I mean, the gun violence, you know what I mean, the anti-gun violence protection fund, you know what I mean, and whatever else. Anyone seen any of that? Anyone see anyone, you know what I mean, posting signage anywhere besides billboards? Anyone see any community programs that are being funded with it? No,
Yeah,
it went to the lobbying, so it's just more money in their pockets to sit there and advance their agendas.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Right. Oh, this is tough. This is tough. And I think that we can't say we didn't know this was coming.
We knew.
We know.
We knew who was in office.
Yeah.
We knew hot button issues.
Mm-hmm.
This was coming, but the thing is this: it always happens after a school shooting. That is, in my personal opinion, conspiracy theorist comes out of nowhere with no, like what we had, like the last 13 or 14 active threats we had, they had intel on the person and didn't move on it.
Yeah,
That's true.
they was on our list. They was on our radar. We was watching them.
Yeah,
that was. I mean, the Boston Marathon bombing.
Oh, full intel.
You see what I'm saying? I don't want to say Eric Harrison, Dylan Klebold. I don't think that was the case with them. But who else? It's just sad. It's just so sad. And it's beginning to be too much. But we knew it was coming. And so I think that the solution right now, if you are not joined with a local and national organization that supports and has the muscle to fight, to maintain the rights that we have, I don't know what to say about you. I don't know. And this isn't y'all know me. I'm not funded by anybody to say this, but two things can be mutual. We can sit there and say that NRA is in definite need of a regime change and overhaul, and we can also say that I appreciate the lobbying work that they do to make sure that those rights that we have muscle and have, like, you've heard them testify. If you did not pay attention today, that's fine. You can always go back and watch it. But all throughout the testimony, you heard them say that the NRA and the gun lobby is the number one stronghold they have against all of their efforts to stop us from being able to protect ourselves. You've heard them. You have heard them say that. You have heard them say that. And if you are not at least a member and supporting those efforts, it's not enough to it's just like carrying a firearm. But matter of fact, Marquise said this, and he said this in his advertising too. So you got your firearm, so you got your holster. Now what? Do you know how to carry in the context of a concealed carry environment from concealment? Y'all go sign up for this course. But that was wonderful, Mark, because it's true. Some of you watching, you only have your firearm. You only have your holster. You only took that little half-ass, even if it was well taught by any of us or people who are better than us, it's still not enough. And you only got that pistol. You only got that holster. You only took that course. You don't even have any insurance. You're not joining any organizations that have legislative teeth and muscle to fight these things, because the active shootings are not going to stop. They're not going to stop. In fact, in the FBI report, active shooter incidents, right? You can go download it yourself. When you look at the numbers of active shootings, and who doesn't love pictures? Look, 333 total active shooter incidents, and this is from 2000 all the way to 2019. You see, the numbers are only getting higher. They are not going to stop. They're not going to stop. And in fact, since they want to tout the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act, right here, those shootings were low. But guess what? We also had it was a different time then, we can argue, right? Clinton had a balanced budget. It was a little bit of a different time then. Now we have no law and order. And I find it funny. I'm going to play this too, because Father Flager, those of you all who are in Chicago or maybe nationwide, and you know who Father Flager is, I'm going to play it's not long, I'm going to play his statement or speech or whatnot that he had with Fox 32 Chicago, where he was talking about how he wants, the police and things to be enforced and whatnot. But it's like, wait a minute, weren't you just on the fucking Dan Ryan sitting here trying to kumbaya and shit, talking about fuck the police
and defund the police?
Yes, defund the police. Weren't you just talking about that shit?
Yes, and getting them out the schools and all the other good stuff. He was just talking about it.
So now you want them to ban all guns, and then you want the police to try to come get it. How the fuck do you think they're gonna do it? That's the question that I have.
You know what? He is a firm, cut my nose to spite my face individual. He forever is looking for that soundbite, and that's a very scary person to be around. The person who wants the soundbite.
Opportunist.
Sheesh.
Here's this. Let's watch it, and then we'll definitely react to it. Here we go.
The calls for lawmakers to act on gun control have continued to grow in the wake of all the recent mass shootings. Of course, Congress holding a hearing today on this very issue.
Meanwhile, national and local leaders continue to speak out and demand change. Joining us now to weigh in on this issue, Father Michael Pfleger of St. Sabina Church. Father, thanks as always for joining us. I wanted to touch on this press release that you sent out earlier today on the topic of gun regulations, part of which read, "Enough of asking God to bless America until we become an America God can bless." Explain what you meant there.
Well, I think that we're looking at a country that is, first of all, a love affair with guns, and it become part of our wardrobe. It's the first sign of offense. We're mean-spirited, we're hated, we're polarized, we're divided, and you're asking God to bless that. And we are a violent country. We're one of the most violent countries in the entire world. 70-some% of Americans say they want to do some common sense gun legislation, and yet we're arguing in the Senate and trying to see what we can do, and then arguing about whether we will sell assault weapons, whether 18-year-old or 21-year-old. Why are we selling them? Why are we allowing high magazines that are destroying bodies, just literally tearing them apart of our children, and used in all of these 246 mass shootings since January 1st? Why are we not banning them? Talk about the age. So an 18-year-old get a 21-year-old to get it for? The issue is guns in this country that can be bought to destroy people. They're weapons of destruction. They're weapons of war. Yeah. And yet we're selling them at gun stores as if they're for hunters.
It was heartbreaking to listen to the pediatrician today who saw a couple of the kids from Uvalde and the damage that was done because of that weapon. Do you think that this will be different this time around? I know it's election season and maybe that will spark some, lawmakers to change things, but do you think so?
I think it only will be if in this election season, people will make this the election. If we hear 70% of Americans want some kind of legislation, and then we see senators that are against any kind of legislation, they should be voted out. Unless Americans rise up and say, unless you're willing to do some really concrete, comprehensive legislation, we're going to vote you out. That needs to be the issue on the elections and midterms. And if it's not, we've watched Newtown, we've watched all around this country, these mass shootings, and here in Chicago. And if we can see babies die from guns and not decide we got to do something, we no longer have a soul in America. So the voters are the ones that are going to make this. Look at the Senate, look at the Congress. The voters are the ones going to make this issue, whether it's going to go away or not.
Father, what do you say to those folks who are just as heartbroken and disturbed by what happened in Uvalde as you are, yet they look at this idea of gun control or common sense gun laws, and they say, at the end of the day, the bad guys, those who are deranged, are going to find guns no matter what we do? What do you say to that?
Well, I think two things. I think one is if we ban these issues, then we start doing what some countries have done, offer to buy these assault weapons back. watch for them, look for them, and reporting of them come in, and people will be arrested, people will be charged, people go to jail if they hold on to them. I think we've got to really enforce it. They say the bad guys always get the guns, but they're always getting the guns because there's easy access to guns. We don't have a comprehensive background check. We don't close the loopholes for people to get guns through the internet and gun shows. There's 24 states right now that you don't have to have a license or a permit to go buy a gun. So we can stop the bad guys from getting the guns if we have some laws that stop them from getting them. It's like a faucet right now. Let's turn off the faucet.
Yeah.
Yep, same thing with drugs.
I wish we had more time.
Right.
It's great to see you.
We can stop
Thank
all
you.
the bad guys from getting all the drugs.
So three things. Number one. The Catholic Church has hurt more kids than any threats.
Hey, slippery slope. Be careful.
Man, fuck. Are we speaking gospel or not?
Fuck that noise. Speak it.
We speaking or not? The Catholic Church has hurt more kids than any active threat.
So y'all know if I get banned, y'all know what happened. Go
Number
ahead.
two.
One of us starts.
Number two. He said that people can go get a gun without a license. They can't get it without a background check. And last but not least, right here, you want to do a buyback program, as in the government buys my guns back for me? What's your background check like? The government has been known for going to do genocide, has been known to cause wars, has been known to go to foreign countries.
Not our government.
Yeah, okay. Has been known to cause wars and kick off everything else. Our government is more violent than most people. But you want me to give you my guns for money when your background check is more sullied than mine ever will be. So no, you can and on.
Marina Teresa on TikTok says, wrong, I got my guns even without showing an ID. Now, that is the case in certain places, but
no background check?
And here's what I'm saying. Did we forget how this country started?
Yeah, guns.
And how we got our freedom?
Right. Did we forget that
I feel like she lying too, just for the record.
Okay, fair enough. Did we forget that we started this country on violence? What we have today is people got to be careful what the fuck they're asking for. If we take away, I say, you know what? Fuck it. If we're gonna talk about guns, let's just take away all the guns, like all of them. Like police don't get them, Secret Service don't get them, the military don't get them. Guns, just Thanos snap that shit. Bow, gone. Now, if they're gone, what the fuck do you think is gonna happen to the United States of America?
We gonna be gone.
We gonna be gone.
We gonna be gone.
Oh no, hey no, we're gonna be the tunnel rats and demolition man.
We gonna be gone. The same way you start is the way that you're gonna end. We started on violence, it's gonna end on violence. Boy. And every year they come out with a new weapon, a new gun, a real gun, a electronic gun, a plasma gun, this, that, and the other gun. Next, you gonna have a gun shooting air bubbles at you. It's just what it is, you know. It's one of those things where it would never go back to the beginning. So now we're faced with the situation is how do we offset this? And the only way to offset this is to enforce what you already have. It's just like a parent. As a parent, if you have rules in your house for your kids to clean up and this, that, and the other, if you have broken promises, if you don't clean up, then I'm gonna do this, and you never go through with it, guess what? Your kids are never cleaned up. All the laws that are being placed on the books right now are going to affect us common, everyday, law-abiding citizens. I have never, and I've been around a lot of criminals working, I've never talked to a criminal that told me, man, I was about to go do a robbery, but I remembered that it was a gun ban, so I didn't take that gun, I took the other. Never once have I met a criminal that said that.
You know what? So can we start walking down the street with katana? I'm just wondering. Like, if we got to go there, let's go back. Let's go all the way back.
No,
I remember
that's
our
an
government.
assault sword. No, that's an assault sword.
Oh, it's an assault sword.
He's an assault sword.
That's an assault sword. Just like your golf clubs, those are assault clubs.
Touche.
If you guys are watching, do me a favor, get the likes up, like, comment, share, and subscribe. If you just walked into the room, we have been talking about the United States House of Representatives Committee on Reform, and I forgot the rest of the fucking name, and their testimonies of certain people in Congress, testifying before this congressional committee, before they attempted to, I think there's a package called the Protect Our Kids Act. This was reported by CNN. And in the Protect Our Kids Act, they're looking to put a age limit on being able to buy assault rifles,
which don't exist.
Yeah,
there's only one assault rifle.
Right.
There's only one assault rifle that was ever created, the STG-44.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else is just a freaking rifle, an Armalite rifle or an AK rifle, or maybe
and rapid assault knives.
Yeah, rapid assault knives. Here we go. The Protect Our Kids Act. In that act, they are looking to. Here's what it says: the House package would raise, and this is according to WGNTV.com. The House package would raise the minimum age for buying semi-automatic weapons from 18 to 21, prohibit civilian use of ammunition magazines with more than 15 rounds in act, which by the way, I'm gonna go on ahead and say that's a little bit more lenient than the VCLEA, the Violent Crime Control and Law Enforcement Act of 1994. How many of y'all remember those 10-round Clinton crime bill mags? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. Prohibit civilian use of ammunition magazines with more than 15 rounds and enact new federal criminal offenses for gun trafficking and straw purchases of firearms. It also seeks to require that ghost guns, which are like your P80 polymers, firearms that are untraceable and do not have serial numbers, undergo background checks and receive serial numbers. Impose a ban on bump stocks for civilians. Oh, that was already done. And bolster the storage of guns in homes where minors have access to them. Now, before we continue in this, I'm about to go on a motherfucking rant. Here we go. Y'all ready? Here we go. Y'all said what's new. I get it. You reckless motherfuckers who we teach in the class and we tell your ass to secure your shit, you are fucking responsible for this. Because we tell your ass all the fuck. Okay, sidebar. It may not be all y'all. It could be people who don't. But you know what the fuck I'm saying? We tell you to secure your shit and you're reckless. Now, we can't give Democrats or anybody who is anti-gun any quarter, because if they, what did Eddie Murphy say? Give a motherfucker a rope, want to be a cowboy. So we can't give them any quarter at all, because if we give them an inch, they will take a mile. But we gotta bear some fucking responsibility on this shit too. We've been telling your ass to get a fucking safe, and you like, no, we ain't gotta worry about that and shit because I live alone, I ain't got no kids. But then you forgot little Demetrius ass or motherfucking Chad or goddamn Horatio who come to fuck over with his kids, and you forgot that you had your gun laying the fuck around, but you took the magazine out, but you forgot there was a motherfucking round in the chamber. And all of a sudden, some kid get killed, and now we got to hear about this shit. Get a fucking safe. Secure your shit. Stop giving them a motherfucking reason for them to come after us with your fucking negligence. I yield.
Hey, but you know that dude that just that little 14-year-old that just robbed that store, he got his pistol out of the safe.
How you get the cop? You know what?
Hey, they according to reports, they said that he learned the combination to that safe, and he took the firearm out of the safe, and it was not about the money. It was about a personal something that he had going on, and if he tell them what it was, then it won't make any sense anymore. So it was in the safe. How about the fact that you fuck up your goddamn kids? Yeah, I said it. Fuck your kids up when you know that you got fucktards for kids. And how about you kick yourself in the ass for being a fucktard for a parent? I'm just saying.
Because you know what? Here's my question.
Views went up.
Here's my question. After that person committed that robbery with the gun he took from the safe, what happened to the parents?
Nothing. It's just like that dog that run outside and bit somebody. They gonna lock my ass
That's
up.
because it's not the boy's fault; it's the gun's fault.
Man, you know how it is. So I guess it's not my dog's fault. It's the
It's
the dog food fault.
It's his teeth
just
fault.
like when I failed that test in high school, it was the fucking pencil's fault.
Gotcha.
Man, bruh.
The pencil wrote down the wrong answer. I don't know what the fuck to tell you.
Just like you didn't go to class and become an instructor. You know, that's not how it happened. You didn't go to a class to become an instructor. You sat in the room. It's the room's fault on you gaining the knowledge of becoming an instructor.
Right.
Absolutely.
It had nothing to do with you. It was the room.
Because we're living in a world now where it's easier to blame an inanimate object than to go back to the root and blame those people
That's
that are
because it can't
responsible
talk
for
back.
that.
Or blame prior administrations when something doesn't go right too.
Of course, it's always the last administration fault. Retardicans and Democrats.
Like gas prices and food shortages.
Oh, I'm loving paying fucking $6 a gallon right now.
Yeah, and that's the thing though.
Hey, watch it now. I got a trucking company, so you know. So I'm asshole over here for real.
So I really want you. So just imagine that if you have a group of people who are our governing bodies not taking responsibility for their screw ups, how am I supposed to understand what they're trying to do with gun control?
Right.
You don't take responsibility for what you are doing wrong. And I'm supposed to go to you as the governing body of my conscience and kids versus guns when the subject isn't kids versus guns.
And if you look at half of them fucktards on Capitol Hill, all of them half-ass dead. They probably can't even spell gun. They just know what it says, what it looks like. It's one politician that's running, and I truly is following him. He's talking about term limits on politicians.
Yeah,
that was the best shit I've ever heard.
It'll never happen.
But that was the best shit I've ever heard because you got all of this old, crusty, dusty ass.
I've been saying that shit for years.
Up in there, and you got all these old fucks up in there, and they're looking at what used to be, not realizing that the time is changing. The clock is still ticking. It's time to get some new blood in there that knows how to deal with the new issues. New blood that knows what the word accountability is. New blood that knows what. Hey,
I'm gonna tell you how you get term limits. I'm gonna tell you right now how to get term limits. This is being recorded, right?
Yes.
Stop allowing politicians to make policies on stocks they currently hold. Watch how fast term limits show up when whatever stock you have, any policy you make on it means that stock goes away. Watch term limits happen. Because
go one step further. If you're a politician, you're not allowed to invest.
Ooh. But guess what?
Because you're making policies, so therefore take away the ability to get insider information because it's the information's fault that it made the investment for you.
Because think about it. It's simple.
Right away as
possible.
Keep going.
Oh, that was you. Mm-hmm. Hey, dude. Hey, I'm black. You know I play with voices, bro. That's why I'll be low crawling out this bitch. I don't play with spirits. But like I said, ain't no black people with paranormal activity. But anyway, when you look at those aspects, if there's a reason why they won't take those term limits, because if it was just based on the paycheck, man, you can get any government job and make almost that same amount of money. It's the potential of the money you can make on the side that they would never ever accept term limits. They'll never accept.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all the lobbying.
But Rob does have a point too, and I had to interject with that. Rob said, "Katie, term limits mean millennials will be running the country sooner, and that's a bad thing too.
But
Thoughts?
I gotta step on that. Okay, so millennials is a very broad term because that's for a generation. Guess what? There are multiple people in that generation. Millennials normally has a derogatory or a negative tone toward it because of different things that they have done within their generation. But guess what? Either way, we're not going to be here for the rest of our lives, as in us, our
Right.
age group. So again, it reverts back to, are you teaching your children
Yes.
something beneficial?
Yes.
Or are you allowing the technology box, you know, that stupid phone that we call so freaking smart, to babysit for you?
You know, and come and think of it, I'm gonna switch to so I just released, those of y'all who know, I'm a children's book author. I just released a new book called Steve the Bee and Little Frankie Talk Behavior and Feelings. And so I'm not saying that to plug my book, but fucking I'm gonna plug it. But I'm also saying this to talk about the criticisms that the book got. And I'm going to show you because it did get criticism. And the thing is that I'm sitting here like, okay, I know your book isn't for everyone. Got it. Check the box. But I have never found out something to be so true than to get to this and see some of the comments that was in the reviews. Parents do not want to, and it's not all parents. If it don't apply, let it fly. But parents do not want to read to their children. So here's this, because we're talking about solutions. So there's enough. Where's it? It's one review. Here we go. It was one review that was pretty critical. That's gonna reinforce the point that I was trying to make. Sorry, maybe it's the next page. Yeah, what? No, that's not it. I'm sorry, guys. Hold on, I should have had that prepared. Now you see these 5-star reviews. It had a lot of meat and potatoes behind it.
Yeah.
Then, okay, here we go. This book isn't for children. Instead, the book is meant to be read and discussed with children. The book is in 2 sections. First, a B discusses the importance of not hitting one's children. The book's second section introduces children to dangerous situations without any instructions or guidance. I applaud the author's intentions, but this book isn't the best parental tool. So, if the shit is said, it's meant to be read and discussed with children, and it introduces children to dangerous situations without any instructions or guidance, what the fuck does that mean? That means you're supposed
not a children's book.
Huh?
It's not a children's book.
Well, no, it actually is a children's book, and I'll read it to you guys live on here if you want to, because I'm telling you, I got no problem reading it because the book is designed to be triggering to parents and advocate for abused children to stop beating your fucking children and actually teach them. Because if you don't do what I ask you to do in my class, can I beat the shit out of you?
No. That's not what I meant when I said it's not for children.
Oh, my bad.
What I'm saying is this. If I got the book, is this a book where I just give it to my kids, or should I read it first to understand what I'm giving my kids? Which, in my opinion, if anything you give to your kids, shouldn't you review it first before you give it to them?
Yes,
right?
If you're a fucking teacher.
Hey, Mike, what did I tell you when I came over there? What I tell you when I came over there to that book fair over in, I think, Oak Lawn, when I went down there to the other guy's table? I read the beginning part of that book, and I told you that that's not a book that I would want my children to be reading. I read it first while standing up there. A lot of parents don't give a shit, man. That's just like these damn video games. My son knows, and I tell you guys about my son. He's been shooting since he was 10 years old, 15 years old, ranking number 32 out of his whole class. My son is not allowed to have GTA. Grand Theft Auto is not nothing that I want him playing. Why? I played it already. I've been on there. I see what the concept is. I'm that parent to get on the game, and I will act like I'm him with the headset on just to hear what his friends are saying.
Right.
But you have a lot of parents that don't give a shit. Out of sight, out of mind. As long as they're not asking me for shit, I'm good with it. And that's
Mm-hmm.
what the problem is. We're allowing everything else and around us to raise our children instead of us raising our kids. Same thing, and I'm keep saying it. You keep on letting that dog out, and you get locked up. It's a damn shame when we live in a day and age where I hate to say it, but the rainbow and animals have more rights and more rules governing them than regular people do. I hope I said
Mm.
that not to get blocked.
No, nope. And I've said that multiple times when people
Yeah.
have like addressed it with how black people are endangered species. No, we're not, because we're not protected by government.
Not at all.
Mm.
Not at
Mm.
all. Not at
Mm.
all. Go out there and kill a go out there and kill a rhino and see what happens to you.
Now go out there and kill a black person and see what happens. Anyway, I
Hey,
digress.
hey,
Right.
hey.
Back to the book.
Shots fired.
So yeah, so my thing is that you should be knowing what your kids are going to read. If you're
True.
not looking at the book and you feel a specific way about it, well, it's not for kids, this, that, and the other. Maybe it's because the content you aren't ready to talk to your kids about. And let's be real. If you're not ready to talk to your kids about certain content, that's 100% up to you. But my thing is, don't put it on the tool, because that's, again, a book is a tool. I'm not going to give a 6-year-old Catcher in the Rye.
Yeah,
I'm
you
just
said my
saying.
daughter's 10 years old, and I love the book Steve the Bee and Little Frankie. That, you know what, that's one thing that I was saying about the book, is that it teaches actually finding out what the issue is that has your children acting the way they do. That's the main thing behind the book. And I have don't get me wrong, I've written some triggering books, but I have never seen something so triggering in this book. But that was my intention. That was my intention when I wrote it, was to create something that was going to literally trigger, because these kids, like, if you have not worked in an abuse in a home, y'all can see the screen, right?
Yes.
Yeah. If you have not worked in a shelter for abused kids, man, it is really something.
It's
And so,
heartbreaking.
yeah, it's really something. So I can't even. Yeah, yeah. It's really something. It's really something. I think this is a different one.
But
Yeah.
see, Mike, that goes back to the analogy I used in class. How many people have a toolbox that they bought on sale around holiday time that came with 150 pieces for like $20? And there's a certain set of tools in there that you do not know how to use.
Yeah.
And a lot of people raise their hand. Even us guys that put together stuff, I'm pretty sure there's a tool somewhere that you don't know how to use. If you
Yep.
don't seek someone to teach you how to use that tool and how that tool can benefit you and work for you, you'll be that person that's hammering with a pair of channel locks. You'll be
Yeah.
that person that's using a butter knife to try to screw in a screw. You'll be that person that's using all kind of dumb shit to try to fix a car, because you don't have the knowledge to use the tool the proper way. Every tool has a specific use. Every tool has a specific function. But a lot of people go out here and just get it because it was all a part of a set. It was a trending thing. It was on sale, so I got the tool. Same thing with these firearms. It's a tool. That's all it is. And as long as you continue to sell tools to people that are not certified mechanics, don't expect the fucking car to get fixed. And don't expect these people to go out there and figure out how to get it done, because the only time that they're going to call one of us is when something go bad.
Hey,
Oh,
that's an
man.
assault screwdriver.
Hey, you already know it. But see, a lot of people, they're not going to call and say, hey, let me get this training first. Let me go and find out how to work this tool before I go buy this tool. So it's just, it's a revolving door that we're going to continue to be in. Just like the tool that you're selling right there. That tool, a lot of the parents probably don't know how to use it. So I hope you didn't expect them to teach their children how to use it.
I tried. You know.
I'm gonna teach a class on assault screwdriver usage.
Yeah, I tried, and I think this was some of the part right here that actually triggered some of the parents. So long and short of it, Steve flies by, is speaking to the reader. He says, I like this park. Children come here a lot to run, jump, skip, and hop. They often bring ice cream, candy, and sweets galore. The sweet taste is what we bees adore. Oh, I fucked that up again. Hold on. Switching between that and another book. Hold on. Jesus Christ. Here we go. There seems to be some children who are always sad. Do you think they've made their parents mad? Why are you crying? I heard one mom angrily ask. I don't know, the little girl replied, running away fast. They come here all the time. She plays and whines and cries and whines. I don't think the mother understands. To her, the little girl's behavior could seem bad. Sadly, the mom uses her hands. How many times have we seen parents just beat the shit out their kids and they don't understand that there's a emotion and event that caused them to feel that way? And I think that when you come from trauma, that it causes you to not understand the behavior, and you end up trying to control the situation. So that's it, guys. Final thoughts while we're wrapping up on this.
I know you probably got one of the people on there still holding on to us actually about arming teachers. I seen that post that you put up today. I think it was in DC that there was they had you said the lunch lady and the engineer that was walking through the school doing an active shooter drill.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let me go find that shit. We can't end without talking about
Marquise, yeah, your name was on that comment page too. I read it all.
Oh my God. Yes.
I mean,
we got to talk about that. We got to talk about
it. When you got Kel-Tex, fingers on triggers, and lens caps still on the scopes, or the optics, I'm just saying.
What the hell did I miss?
I will say this. I actually like that Kel-Tex. I actually like that Kel-Tex.
That little small Kel-Tex?
Yeah.
Bro, stop playing with me.
I'm for real. It shoots phenomenally.
Dude, stop playing with me.
I'm serious.
Dude, stop playing with me.
Okay.
Here we go. You triggering me. He said, spare the rod, spoil the child. So let me ask you this. You come in my place, you fuck up. Can I beat your ass?
He gonna say I ain't no child.
Right. Oh, no. Spare the rod, spoil the child. And it's just like, I love it when parents sit there and say, well, my child is not listening to me. Have you ever thought you an elementary ass, you a preschool ass parent? Have you ever thought about that shit? Have you ever thought about the fact that maybe the reason why your child isn't listening to you because maybe you don't know how to teach? That's funny as fuck. I think that parents who get offended at what I say don't take into context that parenting is the one thing that you could be simply because you can fuck and create it. You could fuck and you could create it. You have no LEO. You have no license, no licensure, no evaluation, and no observation. Ain't nobody watching your ass. Ain't nobody evaluating what the fuck you know to see if you even teaching, and there's no licensure. Simply because you fucked it, it came into the world, all of a sudden you're a parent. You're not honest about what the fuck you don't know. You're not trying to get any help. And then when your child tries to tell you something and then your child is actually right, you are so insecure in the fact that your child may actually know more than you. You try to suppress that child. You are no different than a police officer who can't take the fact that the citizen may actually be smarter than that cop.
But you know what? The biggest problem in communication is communication. And I think one of the biggest fallacies is that we all communicate well. We don't. Effective communication is totally different than just two people talking. And I think what happens is people don't realize that what you're saying may have context and meaning to you, but it doesn't have that same context and meaning to me. Even when I think Mike was in one of my classes, I say, hey, we're going over the 4 safety rules. Right. Okay, give me a safety rule. Well, the safety rule is keep your finger off the trigger. Okay, what does that mean to you, though? That way, it's not a right or wrong answer. It's just me understanding what does that phrase mean to you. I don't, like, for example, something I don't say in my classes. Treat every weapon as if it were loaded. I don't like that. That's me, though.
Everett defending his motherfucking ass whooping skills hard as fuck, boy. You better hope I ain't DCFS. I'm a motherfucking mandated reporter. Let me find out you beating the shit out your kids. I'm gonna be at your motherfucking doorstep. You defending your shit hard as fuck.
But that's something.
You defending your ass whooping like it's pussy. Yeah, I went there. I'm serious. I'm an advocate for motherfucking kids. You defending it hard. Talking about something that must be something you dealing with. Yeah, I'm an abused child survivor. You better watch the. Hey, you in the right motherfucking room, boy. You don't want this. You don't want this. Go ahead, Marquise.
But yeah, so that's a term I don't use. I don't use the treat every weapon as if it were loaded, because for me, I'd rather you know the condition of your firearm, and we can figure that out better than treating every gun as if it were loaded, because it doesn't mean the same thing to everybody. So I feel that as adults, we believe we have communication skills, but we might not have effective communication skills.
Absolutely.
So what we're trying to say might not come across the same way, but it's always better to understand if what you are saying is getting across to the person and they understand where you're coming from.
Absolutely.
And they can regurgitate it back to you.
Absolutely.
It's the statement, active or effective, active listening, effective communication.
Absolutely. And there's times where I'll sit there because Everett, and this is not against you. I don't have a problem with you. Let me give that context. Your statement I had a problem with, okay? So I think anybody who's on this page, y'all know it's not you. It may be your position. It's never you, okay? Never you. But what I'm saying is this, is that I'll sit there and I'll ask some parents, because I got parents and children that go through my anger management stuff. And I'll sit there and say, well, what are the learning styles of how does your child learn? Well, shit, they learn pretty fast. Motherfucker, I didn't say the speed in which they learn. I said, how do they learn? Oh, you don't know? It's, hands-on fucking, no, it's all good. It's all good. It's hands-on. Yes. Oh my God. Charlie, hey, that was good. A lot of us had no business being parents when we were. I'm just saying. But here we go. There's, audio, visual, kinetic. Then you've got some learners who are great analytical, great creators, but then there are some who are practical. Do you know that boys are more practical than anything? Do you know your girls, there are different learning styles depending upon certain environments and depending upon certain tasks. There are a lot of people who are good at manipulating shit. And it's like, if you're not a good teacher, two things can be mutually exclusive. You can know how to do something, but not know how to teach it.
Which is a lot of instructors.
Oh, whoop. I'm just saying.
Just because you did it doesn't mean you should be teaching it.
And just because you reading that PowerPoint slide don't mean that you fucking understand it either, because you could be learning while your students are learning it. I'm just saying.
And you start squinting.
Mike, I already know where you was going with that. Stop that.
Hey, I'm not going to say that person's name.
Yeah, see?
Hey, I'm just saying. Motherfucker.
Sometimes you got to sound it out, bro.
He can make you a celebrity over. Nope. All right. I'm just saying. No, let's keep going. Keep moving on. I'm just saying.
Okay, so did you find a picture with the teachers with them doing the active shooter drill yet?
No, I was trying to find it. We was talking about
go to your Facebook page.
Oh, I got your Facebook page. It definitely is on there.
Oh, it's right here. Here we go.
John, if you ain't seen this, get ready, brother.
Yes,
it's on his Facebook.
Yeah.
I got it right. I got it right here. This is gonna be funny.
Oh God,
this is gonna be fun.
Way too sober for this bullshit.
Hey, got some Crown Apple Cran.
Which
here we go.
Page, Mike?
Bam! Oh,
with the Kill Tech. Oh my God.
Hey, look, I'm just telling you.
Stop it.
What kind of stack is this?
A no stack.
It's a pancake. All right, here we go. Ho!
Look, Liz Cat.
Hey, that's the first. I'm like, dude,
you better look at them sites. You screwed.
Right.
I can't see them. Everything's black.
But here's this though. I don't know if this was. I mean, we could talk about this. I think this was just a photo opportunity that they just took while they were walking down the hall. Because if this is supposed to be Tim's, which is Tactical Emergency Medical Services, right? They don't look like they're ready for shit.
First of all, I don't care if it is a photo op. It's a photo op. If it's a photo op, that means it is stuck forever in the internet or the interwebs. Yeah. Right now, you like a complete damn idiot with a gun, with a freaking, you have a optic that is covered.
Hey, big boy in that last picture though, finger on the trigger.
Yeah.
We gonna get there. Why you ruining it?
Oh yeah. I put. Hey, John, my OCD kicked in big time when I saw it.
What about this though? I don't know, man.
That's hard. He can't see. Neither one can see because his eyes are closed and she ain't even looking down the fucking.
And then this, he got his finger on the trigger,
right on the trigger.
Yes. This is just embarrassing. And see what I'm saying when people are asking, we need more police in schools. Okay, since you say we need more police in schools, I humbly beg of you to consider the following. Remember what
oh my God, Mike, go back to that second to last picture.
Oh man, I just stopped the screen. Oh shit. Go back to the second to the last picture. Okay.
Here we go.
There we go. Come on, this picture right here.
No, one more back. Sorry. Seriously, she has her glasses, her prescription glasses strapped to her molly chest.
Hey, those could be for reading, man.
Bro,
in the middle.
That's twice as worse than.
I know. I'm just fucking with you.
Like, seriously, I have to zoom in. Her prescription glasses are right smack in the middle of her molly chest ring.
Look, now you know it was hard for them to try to get police in the first place, okay? So, hey, they all they got. They all they got, man. They all they got.
And what's strapped to her left leg if her holster's on her right hip?
Could be a taser.
OC.
Or a pepper spray.
That's a really big pouch for a taser.
That's what she said.
Hey, that's not Army. Rob is something else. Talking about some, that's Army. That's not Army. They are wearing.
That's called shots fired, Rob.
Damn.
That's not Army. Damn. They're wearing the BDU pattern of the Army, but that's not Army. Not even remotely close. Or it might be, who knows, baby? Because that shit, the training standards have gone down. Fuck it.
Hey, and then did you notice her cross draw holster in your one with the guy's eyes closed?
Yeah, I saw that.
The holster's on the left facing backwards.
Yeah, I saw that. It's utterly disgusting.
I mean, that's gangster. Y'all just don't understand where y'all coming from. Y'all training ain't on point. That's all.
Yeah, well, her holster doesn't match the rest of her basket weave.
You know, I think that if we're gonna say let's continue to use the police, take it to consideration. Here we go.
I parked. U.S. Marshal started coming toward my car saying that I wasn't allowed to be parked there, and he said, "Well, we're gonna have to arrest you because you're being very uncooperative." I said, "Well, you're gonna have to arrest me because I'm going in there, and I'm telling you right now, I don't see none of y'all in there. Y'all are standing with snipers, and y'all are far away. If y'all don't go in there, I'm going in there." He immediately put me in cuffs.
She says after Uvalde police officers told marshals to uncuff Gomez, she ran towards the school.
As soon as they uncuffed me, I jumped that first gate fence. And once I jumped it, I went to my son's class. And I knocked on the door, and I remember the teacher saying, I'm like, "Hey, they're already bolt cutting the fence to get me." She's like, "You think we have time to get out?" I said, "Y'all have time. I'm going to run for my other son."
She was assured her son was okay. Gomez ran to get her other child, encountering more officers who tried to stop her.
So I start yelling, and I'm being cooperative, and I'm like, "Well, y'all aren't doing what are y'all doing? Y'all need to be in here. Give me your vest. Somebody give me a vest, something." I started paying attention to how far the shots were being, so that I knew the shooter was all the way still by my first son's class. So when I went to my second son's door, the teacher didn't want to open the door for me. So that's when they started escorting me out. And as I see that they're opening my son's door, I go run for my son and I get him.
With both of her kids out safe, Gomez still can't shake the thought of those who didn't make it.
While you were inside the school, did you see officers
There was not
inside
one
the school?
officer inside the school when I ran to my second son's class. There was not one officer.
And you were hearing gunshots, so you knew
You
that
could hear the
it was an
gunshots.
active
It
shooter.
was still active. The gunshots were still active. They were not in there. There was no one in there. If anything, when I pulled up, my car was closer to the school than where the snipers and everybody that was laying on the ground were.
When you heard that it took law enforcement 75 minutes before they went in and stopped the shooter, what was your thinking, having been inside the school yourself?
I don't know. I was just thinking that they could have saved many more lives. They could have gone into that classroom and maybe 2 or 3 would have been gone, but they could have saved the whole class. They could have done something. Gone through the window, sniped them through the window. I mean, something, but nothing was being done. If anything, they were being more aggressive on us parents.
Yeah, that was horrible. What are your thoughts on that, guys?
I'm the one sent you the video, so you already know what my thoughts are.
Oh yeah.
Because I'm sorry, you're talking about literally holding parents at gunpoint to not go get their kids while you're right there, not stopping the threat either.
I probably would have been shot then.
Yeah,
I would have been shot, but we definitely would have found a way up beside that building. But
Hey, man,
anyway,
listen here. I'm just saying, I probably would have been shot because
no, because it makes no sense. Then you left the world.
Stop me from getting up in there to get my kid, especially y'all too pussy to go up in there. And if you actually listen to what the teacher said when he was on the news today, and everybody else, how the officers came in and they stopped it because they was taking gunfire. Like, at what fucking point? That's what the fuck your job is, you dickhead. Like, let's just be fucking real. I hope you didn't sign up for the job to write fucking parking tickets and get cats out of the goddamn tree. You know what I'm saying? Like, at what point do we realize what our job description was? It's a possibility that you're going to get shot at.
But we talked about this last week, though, KD, is that you got people who breach. You got people who want to look good in uniform, and you got people who will take that first shot so the second person can get that shot on the bad guy. None of those people was there that day.
Right.
None of those people was there that day. And the simple answer was, well, you know, our supervisor said, don't go in. Okay. So
fire me.
Huh?
Hey,
fire me.
Fire me after I do what I gotta do.
I'm going
That's
in.
fine. That's what I mean. Fire. I'm going.
Exactly. Fire me when I'm done. Like, I would straight up lethal weapon that shit, like you see in every movie. You want my gun and my badge? After I'm done, though. Or I hate to say it, you know what?
And I guarantee Florida will hire me right after that.
Hey, man, Florida and probably some and probably Arizona and Nevada. But I'm gonna tell you like this, and unfortunately, I love my movies. I love my movie quotes. I don't think I'm gonna let you arrest us today, Meehan.
Hey.
And if you don't know where that's from, I can't help you.
I'm sorry, sir, but sometimes doing the right thing ain't doing the right thing.
I don't know. I hate that movie.
SWAT.
Yeah, that's SWAT. I would go over Tombstone, but I like Tombstone. I don't think I'll let you arrest me today. Like, no, you're not gonna get this one. You got kids in there getting sprayed down, which means if he's shooting in one direction, he's not paying attention to another.
That's true.
But see, that's the same thing that happened with that the Buffalo, New York. When everybody talking Buffalo, New York. If you looked at his body cam, he got out and he was facing forward. Nothing was behind. He never looked once behind him. Never looked. He looked to the side. He was focused on going in and doing what he's doing.
Because he knew there was no response time.
Man, you know, so it's just like one of those things. Like, I really think that man, never mind. Go ahead, Mike. Say what you're gonna say.
No, you good.
It's fucked up.
You got beyond 2005 though, Rashid. That was back in oh God. When was that? What was that law?
It was
What
Warren
was
versus
that
the District
case?
of Columbia.
It was one before. It was one before Warren. Before
Town of Castle Rock. No,
It's one before Warren versus DC.
not
It's
Castle
one
Rock v. Gonzalez, right?
It might be because it's one before. Like the one that sticks in my head is always Warren versus DC because it involved women.
Yes,
but it was one before that it was determined, and I have it somewhere in a book.
I'll say, but that's been around for that's been around for a long time. Police aren't there to protect people; they're to enforce laws.
Yeah,
and guess what?
That's where most people misconstrue. You know what I mean? When they say police officers, you work for me. No, you don't.
And guess what?
Don't work for you.
It is not no law that says that I can't go in that school and get my fucking kid out of there.
Police work to enforce the Constitution, which is to obviously prevent law breaking. Murder is illegal. Their job is to stop people from committing murder. They're not there to protect you. If they protect you in the process of doing their job, then so be
it. Yes, I did get your message, Christy. I don't know if she wants to. I'll drop the link. I don't know if she wants to come up because we're about to end it, probably about 10 minutes. But if she wants to drop the link, this is the young lady who just testified before the House committee. So yeah, hey, JFB, you said Mike about to fall asleep. Y'all know me too well. I said, well, Mike get them eyes looking like he Chinese. He is about to fall asleep. Beautifully Broken Baby Girl. Oh, that's a heck of a name. She said, we don't need money if there were more Overwatch angels like Mike. Are y'all doing veteran Overwatch? I know you did veteran Overwatch at your niece's graduation. How many of y'all would do veteran Overwatch?
I did. I would say I did veteran Overwatch. Yep, sure did.
Yes, we are doing veteran Overwatch. I know I'm doing it. So
I had elevated platform, back against the wall, full view entrance, and the whole floor.
Absolutely. You said I don't think it will, Frank. What is I'm sorry.
Frank,
1856.
18 PB what?
1856. South versus Maryland. The Supreme Court of the United States the United States stated clearly that protection is not an individual right, but rather the police are there to enforce the law in general. 1982 was Bowers versus DeVito, which was there is no constitutional right to be protected by the state against being murdered by criminals or madmen. It is monstrous if the state fails to protect its residents, but it does not violate the Constitution. Wow. So if I'm not mistaken, Warren versus DC was later. Was it before?
Yeah.
So 1856, 1982, and then Warren versus DC, if I'm not mistaken.
And you said it was South versus Maryland, right?
So, yeah, South versus Maryland. And that was 1856. So it's literally been in history that we are not supposed to be waiting for a cape.
And just so Kent made a comment, need to remove the protect and serve slogan. And no, because they are protecting. They're protecting the law. All right. They're serving the Constitution. The Constitution says that, you know what I mean, certain laws and actually Constitution, Bill of Rights, all different things allow certain unalienable rights to us, God given.
Mm-hmm.
Which means pursuit of life, liberty, pursuit of happiness.
Mm-hmm.
So, by law, murder is illegal. They're there to stop the commission of murder. Rape is illegal. So therefore, they are there to stop the commission of rape. If it happens to be you that they're protecting, then you are just the product of that incident.
That's correct.
Yep. And I'm going to say this too. Everyone who believes in the whole, we just need to give up guns and all this other good stuff. I like my man, Benjamin Franklin. He who will give up freedom for safety deserves neither freedom nor safety.
Yep, correct.
You don't deserve either. Because if you still waiting for Superman, Batman, Robin, whoever you waiting for to come save you, you keep waiting. Cops are there in minutes when you only have seconds.
That's correct.
I'm sorry. I'm not leaving my life to chance to nobody.
There are wonderful people who are talking in the comments about the situation. I believe it was in Virginia where it was a party.
Graduation party.
Yeah, graduation party. And there was a man who came out and was shooting. And I think one of the party goers, a female,
Yes.
black female,
Yep.
actually took out her rifle and shot the guy. He didn't die, but he's in custody.
He got stopped. Don't
Yeah.
matter.
She
Yeah.
All that
motivated
matters
him.
was he stopped.
Yes.
Motivated him to cease his threatening behavior.
Yes.
No. Did she modify his behavior?
She
Yes.
definitely did.
Hey,
If
Marlon.
she modified his behavior, it obviously worked.
Yes. Yep. Katie got the Morpheus glasses on. All right, you all. We are gonna head on out again. It was another wonderful show. I really, really hope that
Excuse me.
those of you all who know I'm not Republican or Democrat, I'm not, conservative or liberal, I'm independent, but my inner Republican came out today.
No, that's your independent.
Yes, my
I'm the same way.
hey, I never, man, dude, I'm telling you,
I've
never said
beliefs on
either.
both sides.
I'm an independent thinker. That's it.
man, look, hey, Republicans and those interested Democrats, hold the line. Stop this bill. It's not that we don't want to protect kids, but we cannot give them an inch or they will go a mile. We cannot give them a rope. They will want to be a cowboy. Those of us who have things to defend, we stand behind you. Hold the fucking line.
Mm-hmm. My thing is, I like to have my firearm to go protect the school if I need to.
Facts.
Because I can't give them hopes and prayers.
I can't. Somebody said they're about to do it right now for their niece's graduation. That's what I'm talking about. I love it. Absolutely.
Like,
All
matter
right.
of fact, I hate to say it, I was actually doing security this weekend at a festival.
Love you too.
Guess what was on my back? A scorpion.
That's it.
A scorpion was on my back for the
Hey,
simple
Marquis.
reason. Huh?
Don't get off when we get off, because I need to ask you a question about something too.
Bet. But I had a scorpion on my back because of all of us that was there, I was the only one allowed to be armed. It was 5-0 there too.
Yeah.
But I was the only one allowed to be armed, part of the security team that was working specific areas. It's like, oh, okay, well, I need my pistol and I need a scorpion. Here's my credentials. I'm allowed to have it.
Thomas O'Keefe says last president to ban something was Trump. I think he did the bump stock. But that was more
stock because of Vegas.
Yeah, that was more so like, let me give up something to get something. So anybody who
it was
understands
a part.
that, yeah, it was a part.
It was a part, not a whole firearm.
Right.
No.
It's like saying we banned the little dust cap that goes into the
over the boat carrier group.
Right. Motherfuckers are like, okay.
No dust covers.
We'll be all right. Charlie boy, you said, have I considered a discourse for my channel? Oh, you're talking about
I think he's talking about Discord.
Oh, Discord. I heard of it. What is it?
It's a whole nother platform.
It's an app that you
I'm
it's an
sleepy.
app that you can go on and do all kind of stuff on.
Right. Yeah, we heard about the Vegas shooting. Yeah, and Chrissy said you can make those homemade too. You said Celtics up by 4. Hey, we Golden State over this, boy. I don't know. I just like I'm sleepy. I forget the motherfucker's name. He's not a motherfucker. I just like cursing.
Draymond Green.
No. Steve Curry. Yeah. I like Steve Curry. Yeah. Good guy. All right, y'all. Closing thoughts.
God bless America.
That's it. And John went to sleep right away.
Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
You know what? We got
the hell?
I just heard cowboy. I'm like,
that was a good one. You said
Save a horse, ride a cowboy.
Save a horse and ride a
Calm down,
cowboy.
P-Rock.
Oh my God. All right, y'all. Come on back Wednesday, every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for Trigger with Instructor Mike and friends. Hey man, you all be safe. Make sure you get your freaking eyeballs on me right now. Make sure you get your freaking butt in somebody's doggone concealed carry class and make sure you secure your damn guns. We got to hold ourselves accountable. We got to make sure we stop giving them reasons to fuck with us. Now that's on you, goddammit. Do what you're supposed to do. I love your fucking ass. We out. What's going on there? This is Chicago with Citizen Service about what you're trying to do. Don't you do it. Don't you do it. Friends here. Y'all, this is
Because you have to understand that self-defense is a serious business. We do carry forces, defense forces. Make the difference.
one of the tactics that would increase or decrease
in the two-way community.
All right, y'all introduce yourself. Johnny
You already know what it is.
I saw that, and I've done my share. I'm about to put yours up here too. Wow, look at that one. My comment is,
I want.
Hey, you'll be back. Hey.
But no, so Marquise Moreno, PC.